So here we go. Here is now this is a superimposement of other videos. So this is a still shot of the security guard, and he was pulling a bag of what he said was trash down the steps. Okay, here's his bag of trash. Did I get it at 100%? Yes, at 100%. Okay, so here's his bag of trash. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I worked in a hotel. That 100% is not what a bag of trash looks like. And I don't know too many people who drag bags of trash and hotel trash that is coming out of rooms, because he came down these steps with that bag, and I'll show you that later. But this bag here, he's dragging, okay? Now, also, you'll notice if you watch the video of Kenneka, it's a straightforward video, you know, frame by frame by frame. However, when you watch the video of the security guard coming down the steps, it shows him cut from starting the steps to at the bottom to over here, which means they didn't show her head bopping against the steps going down, because they knew that that would be too obvious. So here we go. Now remember, we scaled it to make sure that this sign right here is the same size as that sign, or pretty close when we get to it. We want to make sure that the door frame is lined up correctly, and that this black bottom border is lined up correctly, and of course the carpet, the wall. We want to make sure when we superimpose this that everything's going to fit onto this perfectly, so that we know it is indeed the same size. So let's get this up here. Let's line it up real good. If you know, I'll try to be as perfect as I can. Even if we get it 90% right, then we know we're right. All right, so we've lined the carpet up perfectly. We've lined the door, or the bottom, up perfect. We lined up the sign, and we lined up the door frame. How do we know that we did it perfect? Well, because we're using the Superimpose app by PhotoGrid. You can lighten that superimposement, and there you go. So you can watch as the black sign lines up with it, as the door frame lines up. We can actually move this over a little, it looks like here. There we go. Is that sign lined up? See how the sign needs to line up right? That way we know it's the correct fit. Okay, so we got everything lined up right. Now, let's go ahead and make it 100% to where it's no longer see-through. Now we can actually see it superimposed on it. So, does the sign match up? Does the doorway match up? Yes, it does. Okay, so we know that this is the size of his body, that is the size of that bag in that frame. It is the correct size, as if Kenneka Jenkins right there by the steps was standing next to him, though this bag of garbage that he claims was 4 hours after she came up missing, and 3 hours after her friends went looking for her. So we're going to keep it on full 100 now, so that you can see that it is the scaled version, and it is correct, and it is sized correct. So now down here, I made this one right here. In this one, you're going to see come to life Kenneka Jenkins standing up. However, she's sort of upside down, if you will. It's when she was standing against the steps, and it too, you will see, is sized to fit perfect. We are going to go ahead and roll it around. We will size it up just right. Let's take out some of the color so that we make sure when we size up these door frames. Now this one's going to be an easy one. I'll bring it down here for a second, because if you look and see, her head is right next to the sign. That sign that we used to measure him with. That sign that we used to make sure that we got him in the perfect place and that we scaled it correctly against against the stairs and the door frame and the bottom border, the carpet, yada yada yada. She's standing along here. It was when she was turning around, she was getting ready to close the top of her coat because she had noticed someone over in that corner, which we'll get to in a second, and she was starting to close her coat. A woman's intuition is to cover up any part of your body that is showing if you feel threatened or you're scared. Even as doped up as she was, her woman's intuition still kicked in. So you see that sign, you see the door frame. Now, let's go match it up, make sure that we got it scaled correctly to match his door frame and its door frame and yada, yada, yada. So, oh, wrong one. Okay. Let's go out so that we can see. Looks like we need to make it a little bit up some. Make sure the stairs all line up. Door frame. Okay, there we go. So if you look at the door frame here, you'll see it come into light. You'll see the sign come into light. Boom. There's her in that hallway. This is taken from a different video. And that's him in the hallway, also taken from a different video. So we know both of these are scaled perfectly as, you know, they would be in life. So now we're going to kind of turn her a little and see, I don't know, will she fit in that bag he's carrying? So we're going to bring this down. We still have him at 100%, so he's not see-through in any way. Let me put my phone the other way here. Now, again, I'm obviously no expert, but this is kind of stuff that I think anybody can do. All right, let's take her out of color a little so that we can see through her to be able to see the bag once she goes over top of the bag to see, does she really fit in it? All right, let me see if I can hold this while I'm holding this camera. Oh, no, don't go back. Bring it back. There we go. All right, now we're just gonna turn her. Oh, it stopped it there. And let's put her up where the bag would go or where it would be. Now, let's pull it into 100%. Am I doing it? Oh, there we go. So that's her sideways. Now let's see if she would fit in that bag. Well, look at that. When I seen that, I could not believe my eyes. I was so shocked that they're calling this a freaking accident that it is just absolutely disgusting to me that this poor little girl was murdered, obviously. Look at how that matches up. That is so amazing how they have all the proof in the world that they need to get that security guard. And I don't know how many of you see a bag of garbage that looks like it has a head and that its back is on the ground and that it's being dragged by a security guard. I don't even know how many security guards take out garbage, to be honest with you, because that's usually the maid and the maintenance man. But